Kara noticed that the witch who was carrying her was breathing rapidly. "Get someone else to carry me," said Kara loudly. "Leaf, you carry me instead." Walking in the cold of the impassable mountain range was very exhausting, especially in the snowy winter. Every day, the 42 witches had to find a suitable camp after walking a short distance and re-energize their medallions to withstand the sudden drop in temperature at night. "Yes, respected mentor." A witch squatted down in front of Kara. Kara summoned the demonic snake and made it wrap around the witch's arms and pull herself up. Kara observed that the witch could not help trembling slightly. "Damn Nightingale," Kara thought bitterly. If Nightingale had not repeatedly refused her kindness, she would not have been cruel to her sister. At this crucial time in their search for Holy Mountain, Kara could not afford to take any risks. And what was the result? After the damned traitor escaped, she was ready to stab her to death without hesitation. This was the result of her kindness. Kara's thoughts were filled with anger. Nightingale had damaged her spine. Although Leaf quickly healed her wounds with herbs, Kara's lower body was already paralyzed, and her feet had completely lost consciousness. "Wait until I reach the Holy Mountain. I will call up more witches and cut you into pieces one day," Kara thought. "Respected mentor, there are demonic beasts ahead of us." Scarlet, who was in charge of investigating, reported. She could see through obstacles, shelters, and all traps. Nothing could be hidden from her. At the same time, she even had the ability to see fast-moving objects clearly. She had been able to knock off the Judgment Army's bolts once, during a confrontation with the church. "Put me down. Leaf, you go to help them." The witch nodded as she squatted and placed her on a stone. Her hands supported her body as she fell into the snow. She felt the cold come through her palm. Kara thought unpleasantly, "Couldn't you at least wipe the snow away before letting me down?" But she did not say it. Leaf was an irreplaceable member of the association. If it was because of Wendy and her good temperament that the witches had gathered and established the Witch Cooperation Association, then it was because of Leaf that everyone had the courage to follow her. Without her ability, most witches would have died along the way, hunted by the church. Thinking of Wendy, Kara could not help feeling hurt. She had never expected that Wendy, who had established the Witch Cooperation Association with her, could betray her for Nightingale. Even when Wendy blew her away, she had not wanted to kill Wendy. The venom secreted by the snake of magic suffering would be painful and take effect slowly, but not lead to death immediately. The toxin could only be removed quickly if nothingness bitter. She just wanted to give Wendy a lesson. If left alone, the toxin would invade her head and could not be cured. It was the wrong decision for Nightingale to take her away. Without the antidote to nothingness, Wendy would not survive for more than a day. Could it be that she, as a church nun, had no chance to go to the end with her sisters? As for the other betrayer, Lightning, Kara did not care too much. She had joined the Witch Cooperation Association recently, and her ability seemed to be flying. She always put forward different views in the search for Holy Mountain and even openly questioned the Holy Book. If it had not been for the ideals of the Witch Cooperation Association, she would have killed the talkative little girl and tossed her aside in the snow. Two wolf-shaped demonic beasts emerged from behind the hillside. The sisters of the Witch Cooperation Association were skilled at dealing with them. The sisters who were not able to fight moved backward. Leaf drove her magic first, causing weeds to grow rapidly. The green leaves suddenly broke through the snow and entangled the demonic beast's feet. Another witch, Windyseeker, dried up the air around the demonic beasts. The two monsters suffocated quickly. Foaming at the mouth, they fell to the ground in convulsions. This was the power of the witches, Kara thought. Common people who relied on swords alone would easily lose their lives in the face of two demonic wolves. Only the witches with magical powers were the darling of the deities. If there was no god's stone of retaliation, it should be called the Hellstone. How dare the church ride on their heads? She spat on the ground. Respected mentor, please come up. Leaf came back to Kara and bent down. Get someone else. Kara sighed. You're tired. They continued on the road. By noon, the snow was falling less. Stone, who was responsible for the camp layout, found a leeward place. They decided to take a break here and eat something to renew their strength. Stone quickly transformed the land. The snow transformed it into fresh soil. The ground seemed to come alive, weaved and wriggled, and soon became smooth and dry. All the witches performed their duties and soon set up the pot to make porridge. The snow was boiled in a cup, mixed with some herbs strengthened by Leaf, and immediately sent out strong fragrance. Give your badges to Shino, cried the little girl with extraordinary red hair like a leaping fire. Her ability was also related to fire. She could inject temperature into an object and make it glow for a long time. The badges of the Witch Cooperation Association, the coin of Holy Mountain, were made by her alone. The ability seemed insignificant, but it was helpful to the Witch Cooperation Association, especially in the march through the impassable mountain range. If there was nothing to hold heat, it would be easy to lose temperature and fall into a coma in the cold wind and heavy snow. After eating the oatmeal, the witches packed up and continued on their way. According to Kara's conjecture, the so-called Gates of Hell was actually the key to Holy Mountain. The church deliberately called it the Land of Evil, hoping to prevent witches from reaching Holy Mountain. According to the records in ancient books, they needed to go through 3 stone gates, and the last one was in the barbarian region. The stone gates were usually hidden under the ground, and would only rise to the surface when the bloody moon appeared in the sky. They had set out from the camp and been walking in the impassable mountain range for about half a month. Soon they would leave the range and enter wild places. Recently, the demonic beasts had been appearing more frequently. Quick! Quick! Look! What's that? Suddenly someone shouted in horror. Kara raised her head and was dumbfounded. There was a city in the sky. It was still snowing in the dusky sky, and the clouds were low. The silhouette of a city loomed through the clouds. She had never seen buildings like this before. They looked like spires standing side by side. If the black dots above were the windows, then these spires were about 333 meters high. This was definitely not something human beings could create. Even the church's proudest cathedral, the Hermes Cathedral, was only 50 meters high. Since it was not built by humans, then there was only one answer: the city was built by the deities. Kara was so excited, a voice pounding in her heart relentlessly. She had found Holy Mountain.